Okay, Nick Natpacker again, one more time. This is a little addendum to part 2 of my video because was supposed to put something in part 3, uh, that epiphany that I was talking about, and I forgot to put it in there, so won't add it in as an addendum. When I was sitting and watching it actually on BBC America on Saturday evening, I realized something that I hadn't realized before. I remembered that I couldn't understand why he didn't talk to Rose, say something, do something, because of how important she was to his life and how much she meant to him and how much he loved her. I mean, obviously we all knew he couldn't go back to see her as she was in the present time because she's in the universe, and he knows in his heart that she's happy with her part-time Lord Doctor. He gave her that because he loved her that much. He loved her enough to let her go and give himself to her so that she could have forever with him. So he didn't really need to be there to see that because I think it would have caused him way too much pain to see that again, especially when he was about to die. Because knowing Rose, like we all know Rose, she probably would have tried to stop it and done something very stupid in the process because she just loves him that much. But I think the reason why he left her for last was because she was the first person he saw when he came into this world, regenerating from 9 to 10. She was his light and his rock, and she healed his soul when he was so broken and so battered, in such a mess that he couldn't even speak his own planet's name. He couldn't even close his eyes, not even to sleep, just to close his eyes for fear of hearing screams and seeing the flames of the fire and seeing death around him everywhere. All he wanted was to die. And if it had not been for her, he would have long ago been probably found some way to get dead. I mean, as it was, when he met up with the nesting consciousness, he didn't care whether he lived or died, but she changed that. She saved him. Somewhere along the way, he fell madly, if not passionately, terribly, torturingly in love with her, and she with him. When they got ripped apart, it was just, I still don't like to talk about it. It was horrible. Yeah, you'll have to excuse me. I'm a Rose fan girl. She's my favorite Rose movie. But anyway, she was the first person he saw when he regenerated into this world, and nothing more gave him comfort than her smile and her laugh and her sweet face. And I think that all he wanted before he died was to see her smile one last time, to hear her laugh, to see her happiness. Because he knew in a couple months she was going to go on the greatest adventure of her life. He hadn't intended on speaking to her, but he was in pain, from regenerating, and he accidentally allowed himself to be heard. But he didn't say anything that would tip her off, and she probably won't remember it. A lot of people were like, how could she not recognize him? I mean, he was in the shadows, he was skulking it, and she thought he was probably drunk. And it was a good couple of years ago. And for her, once she meets the Ninth Doctor, everything happens all at once. And trust me, that moment in her life is going to be like, she's not even going to think twice about it. Although some part of me wants to believe that somewhere in the future, one day, it's just going to pop in. It's just going to pop into her brain. Wait a minute, what about that time? But yeah, he wanted to. She was the first person he saw, and he wanted her to be the last person he was going to be with. He wanted to share his last moments with the woman that he loved, with the one that meant the most to him. his rock, his life, his everything. He wanted to be with her. Even if it couldn't be the her that knew him, still it was, at least he could see her. I didn't like the idea of him regenerating alone. I always believed that he should have someone with him. But he wasn't, not really. He had the oud there and they sang him to sleep, which was good. Which is very good. Very, very sad. Very sad. Anyway, yeah, that was my addendum about the epiphany there. So I'm going to go offline now. And if you have any comments, please don't hesitate. I'd love to hear any and all. Nick Netcracker signing off from Virginia Beach, USA.